everyone. Happy Friday. We made it. Right. This is Claret and Booze, as you all know. This is a daily show. Very late today, very late. Did one on Monday. Don't remind me. I'll touch on that a bit later. But yeah, what a week. What a week so far. It has been bizarre. Absolutely bizarre week. We had those two horrible hot days, didn't we? Monday, Tuesday. It was just barbaric. I remember recording that video in my loft, and I had the fan on me. I was struggling to breathe. But there was so much positivity coming from the West Ham world, wasn't there? You know, as you all saw from the silly video that I did. You know, it feels silly now. It's being reported everywhere, right? It was all the ITKs, all the main media outlets. Steinberg, everyone was reporting that we was basically the Lingard deal was almost done. We had bids in and secured for Anana, Scamacca, Broja. Ram was being we was discussing that move as well, and then it just fucking fell apart, didn't it? The week has fallen apart. Now I'm going to touch on. I'd like to touch on Jesse Lingard. But yeah, I'm gonna dig into him. A little bit later, but before we get started, as always, if you're new to the channel, please, subscribe, and hit that like button as well, because it really helps us. All right, lovely. Okay, right, let's get back down to business. Okay, so trying to unravel what's happened this week is just, it's all centered around Jesse Lingard. John put out a video yesterday, really passionate video, and that was instant, because John wasn't aware what was going on. I sent him a little WhatsApp, and he fucking blew up. He blew up in his cab, literally, and he said, I've got to pull over. And he basically ranted, so it was a passionate, natural video that he gave, and I agreed with everything that he said about Lingard. I do. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, mind you, because this guy has done nothing but fuck us around now for how long? And everything that John said is true about this player, and I am glad that we didn't get him. I didn't want him. If we'd have got him, great, whatever, I'd have accepted him. But did I want him to come? No, I didn't. He's screwed up 3 windows. But you know what? That is not his fault. That's not his fault. We have empowered Jesse Lingard to be able to do this. Not only did we, we pulled him in. Yes, it was a two-way relationship. When he came in, he was unbelievable. When he came in that January window, he was brilliant. Well, for a certain amount of games, the last part of the season, he tailed off, didn't he? But we put him back on the map, right? If it hadn't have been for that, he would not be able to command the sort of money that Nottingham Forest are apparently paying him now, depending on what you choose to believe. But he's gone for money. He ain't gone for nothing else, that geezer, right? But nonetheless, this has made us look muggy. We've literally wasted so much time. David Moyes' obsession with this guy. He's proved so many times, Jesse Lingard, that he is a messer. You've only got to follow him on Instagram. I mean, what did David Moyes expect? What did he expect? And we've left it this long. I mean, don't tell me that he's probably not regretting, the likes of letting bloody Hickey go and Lewis Potter. He probably is, because all these other targets that we've been talking about, they're going elsewhere. All the targets, they're disappearing one by one. Ram now is going to Leipzig. David Ram. We're apparently linked with Kostic. Now the guy for Frankfurt. Well, how's that going to work out? I mean, the last time we dealt with Frankfurt, we dicked him around with Haller's money, with the staggered payments and everything else. Sullivan don't pay up front. He don't pay up front, and I ain't going to give him credit no more. So why are they wasting time with him? Because that ain't going to happen. And plus, there's loads of clubs after him. We could have gone and got Hickey. Hickey would have been an upgrade on what we've got. I don't understand the mentality in the way that we're approaching things at the moment. And we are, yes, look, 41 days left of the window. Don't panic. Well, the season starts in 15 days. The season starts in 15 days. We can all see the shortfalls that we've got in that squad. We saw it against Rangers. I know you can't put too much into a pre-season friendly, but as Gary said in his video, you can put not into the result, but you can put something into individual performances. And those performances were very similar to what we saw last year. The Cresswell mistakes, Fabianski in goal. I mean, that is indicative of the fact that he's going to be starting the season as well. Don't be surprised if Fabianski starts against Man City. Don't be surprised, okay? And that ain't the keeper's fault. That's not his fault. Moyes just gets stuck on things. He gets stuck on players. He even gets stuck on players that he hasn't got. I mean, this thing with Jesse Lingard, it is so frustrating. I can't believe. I mean, we've been a laughing stock the last few days. Nottingham Forest have been having a right old laugh at our expense. And as well as all the other clubs as well, because it is a fucking joke. It's a joke what's happened. We should never be in this situation. And then you learn that, well, today it's broke now that Scamacca, the geezer that apparently we put a bid in for last week, well, apparently we'll put a bid in now. So was that true? Who fucking knows? But apparently there's a bid in now. This is a Newman player, not Moyes. Moyes wants Brozier. He wants to wait for Brozier. But apparently the deal was more or less done. The fees accepted. All the dotting the I's and crossing the T's, it's all been done. They're just purely waiting for David Moyes to sign it off. But he wants to wait for Brozier. It now seems like he's stuck on Brozier. Now, I would like Brozier to come to us. But at some point, you've got to make a decision. You've got to go out there and get players in. We need these players. At the end of the day, you don't. When you're identifying targets in our position where we're so short at the moment, it should have three targets in each position. We should go for them all. 3 players that he would like to come in. You might have your preferences. You might have, I'd like him more than him, but they would all help us. But you put bids in for them all, and then whichever one comes off, fucking go for it. Get him in, because that improves us. They're your 3 targets. I mean, if this is true, and this deal for Scamacca is on the table, and the player is simply waiting because he knows that Moyes is waiting to see what happens with Brozier, how is that going to make sure that this Scamacca feel? With all due respect. He ain't going to be desperate to come to West Ham. I don't know, but again, do you believe it? Can you believe it? Is it all bollocks? Because, again, I got roped in. Like I say, as you can see by the title, razzle dazzle. I feel like I've been roped in again. Anyone that's sort of been, any new subscribers that's been watching these videos the last few weeks, they probably think that I'm the calm, happy one, and Gary and John are the irrational two. Well, no, I've tried to kind of be positive with this window, because January killed me. The summer before, it killed me, and I wanted to believe, I needed to believe that we was going to try and do things differently, and that's not saying that we're not going to. We could now go out, because he fucking needs to. He needs to go out and sign players now. He does, because especially after Lingard, we needed him anyway, but we need to put this to bed. We can't go a 4th window without a striker. Stop fucking around. Stop it. Just go and get a striker in. I love Antonio. He's a brilliant player. He ain't a striker. We're not getting the best out of him. He needs to play out on the wing. He gravitates out that way anyway. Just get a player in down the middle. Just fucking do it. Do it. I don't know what's going wrong. And I don't care whose fault it is. I don't care if it's David Sullivan or David Moyes. I don't care. All I know is that this situation at West Ham at the moment, it ain't fucking working. And I tell you what, when you see some of these other links that are coming out at the moment, we're linked with the likes of McNeil from Burnley and Diaz. These are the players that it wouldn't surprise me if ultimately we end up getting, if these were always the players that we was going to get. But what they're doing is they're going through the motions to try and meet supporters' expectations, which are raised because of them. Our expectations are raised because of them, because of the stupid shit that comes out of their mouths. David Moyes, namely, in January, when he said we're trying to break our record, our club record on 3 players. We're after this player and that player. We will only buy players that are better than what we've got. So then it comes around to another transfer window, and then obviously fans' expectation levels they've raised. It's just as simple as that. The whole thing, it has been a clusterfuck so far. I love the signing of Downs. I do. It's a good player. But do you know what? What was good about that and what lifted everyone, and this is a thing as well, and in a sense, we're part of the problem because we do these channels, and do you know what? We promote all this bullshit that all the news outlets and ITKs fucking... we don't create the news. We're not ITKs, but you know, we do peddle it a little bit. We do talk about it. But I'm just a fan, and I read this. I would always read this stuff anyway. I get excited about it, and like I say, I'll share it with you all on here. And I put that video out on Monday, and I feel so stupid for doing it. I was like, why? Why did I go there? I really thought we was going to have a good week this week. I did. Not even talking about Lingard. I thought a few others might have come in, but it's just. Oh, this is such a disjointed video. Sorry, there is no format to this at all. I'm just ranting. But I am frustrated. Moyes has to go out. He's got to go and get some players. And there can't be any excuses. These fucking quotes that he came out, I know people have interpreted what he said after the Rangers game as him having a snipe at Sullivan. Well, I'm sorry, Dave. If you've got a meet in the middle on some other players that you may not want as your primary targets, just do it. Get some players in. Yeah, because this relationship that they've got, it's all very well being stubborn, saying, I'm not having him, I only want him, I'm not having it. Something's got to give. We need players. We need to improve. The sick thing is, Jesse Lingard, as much as I didn't want him, he would improve us because he adds the quality. We still haven't replaced that when he left us last time because we got Vlasic in. Instead, we need that level of player in the final third. We haven't got it. We haven't got that class player who can drive the ball through and basically fucking hit the target when he shoots. We don't have that. We're not clinical enough in those areas. He needs to invest. You know, I'm worried now that fucking Aguirre's injured. Because it wouldn't surprise me if we go out and we buy a defender. Now, we buy a centre-back. Because he's got no issue with spending money on centre-backs, is he? It's in the forward positions. He's not too keen. But I don't know. Like I say, this is premature. People are right. There are still 41 days to go. But like I say, there's 15 days until that season starts. It's going to come thick. It's going to come fast. We're not going to have a big squad. So West Ham will not get better throughout the season. We won't get better throughout the season because teams with small squads don't. Which means that we have to start well. If we hadn't started well last season, we would have finished nowhere fucking near where we ended up. But we got off to an absolute flyer. We was brilliant for a few months. And that saved us for the rest of the season. That enabled us to sort of prioritise some cup competitions and be pretty shit in the league towards the end. That enabled us to do that. But if we've all seen our opening fixtures, we can't afford to start slow because it ain't going to get easier for West Ham. David Moyes, even if he goes and buys players now, which he needs to do, we need at least 3 class players. We need a class left back. We need another attacking midfielder and we need that striker. But that doesn't really improve the squad. We still haven't got a big squad, so we're still going to suffer injuries. Key players are going to go down. We will struggle probably as the season goes on. As I said, as most teams with small squads do. So we have to start quickly and you can't just go leaving it because if you bring a player in, it's 41 days left. If you bring a player in 20 odd days into the season, you've got to allow him to acclimatise. Before you know it, before we're even using him, you know, it's the World Cup that you got that international break. I'm so concerned with this, and I'm so concerned with the lack of urgency and the fucking internal games that they're clearly playing in this club. You've got David Moyes digging his heels in. And I am sorry, there is some dithering going on because he's proved it with Lingard. There's no fucking denying it now. The guy gets stuck. He gets stuck on things and he can't move on. Why was we waiting for Lingard? Now, I love David Moyes. I think he's a brilliant manager. But he is no good for my blood pressure in transfer windows. He's not, and it just seems like there's no hurry. There's no, it'll happen. Well, it won't just fucking happen. We should have come into this transfer window. I know we got Aguirre done, but we should have come into this transfer window with all of our primary targets all queued up. We should have been setting bids up so that as soon as that window opened, we were firing bids in and we were getting deals done early, quickly. But we have not done that. We haven't done it. It was just, it took us 2 or 3 weeks just to agree a fee with Areola. But yeah, it is frustrating. And going back to the down signing, that gave me a little bit of encouragement. It gave everyone a bit of encouragement because that signing came from nowhere. That was kept complete. There's no way that deal happened in 2 days. All right, the actual deal may have happened in 2 days, but he was being scouted for a long time. He was being eyed up. That was all kept on the low. With David Moyes and Newman away from Sullivan and everything else. And they basically, when it was time to make the bid, that was probably when Sullivan got made aware, and that's when the whole world knows. But, like I say, that's what got the whole fan base so excited, was the speed of that deal and the surprise factor. What kind of kills it for us really, and I'm noticing that now, is being drip-fed information every step of the way, because we are a society now that we command information. We need it. We're desperate for it. But what happens is, say for instance we sign Brozier. We know everything about this player. It's almost going to feel like an anticlimax by the time he fucking signs. We're going to be like, oh, all right, he signed in the end. There's no surprise factor there. We should be over the moon signing a player with that sort of potential. But the way that the world works now, it kind of builds you up, and that's where the frustration comes in. Because like I say, on Monday you release that video, in your mind you're thinking, right, these players are ours now. In a way, the deals are almost done. It's looking like we might not get any of them. Onana, apparently Lille, we're worlds apart. Lille want 50 million. We've gone 25 million. They've gone no, 50. We've gone all right, 30. They've gone no, 50. We've gone in with 35 now. What are they going to say? No, fucking 50. That's what they're going to say. Because he's just a central defensive midfielder. Fair enough. People might say, looking from the outside in, well, he's not worth that money. You know, he's only a CDM. He's only 20. Same situation with us. Maybe he's worth 50 million to Lille. Maybe he's that important to them. The same as Declan Rice is for West Ham. So if we want that player, and I can only assume that we are buying him in to be a long-term Declan Rice replacement, because there is no way Declan Rice is staying next season. He would be, to be quite honest, the way we're coping, the way we're dealing with things again, we don't fucking deserve him anyway. That is my honest opinion. So he's going to move on. There's no way he'll stay here, because I don't think that they can pull this out of the fire. We could go out tomorrow. We could get Scamacca. We could get Kostic. It ain't going to happen. But I'm saying, in theory, we could do. But we know it's not going to happen. We know the likelihood is we'll probably get one player before the season starts. One player. Might be a left-back. A backup left-back to Cresswell. Something like that. We'll get a player in. And then there'll be a load of build-up towards the end of the window. And we'll probably go out and panic sign and overpay for below-par players like we did last summer, because we fucked around in that window as well. That's probably what will happen. So, look... Yeah, I'm going to try and not get overexcited about transfers now. There's loads of other names I could throw at you as well. We've all heard the updates. I can't be bothered. The only ones I'm going to talk to you about are the ones where it's at least been said that we've placed a bid for. If we've that a bid has been accepted, because placing the bid means fuck all, right? It's if a bid's accepted. That's going to be my stance now. It's not going to be, because we've been linked with about 150 players in this window. We've eyed about 150 players. So now the only time I'm going to sort of report on a player is when it comes out that it's looking like we've made a bid, it's been accepted, and it's progressing through. The rest of it, I ain't being involved in that shit. And like I say, there's loads of new names now. Of course there is. You know, loads of new names now for us to get our teeth into and to kind of divert our attention away. Or just. No, I'm going to try and be a little bit more level-headed. I feel like I've got to apologise about the money video. I do. And like I say, we ain't the only channel that did that. Every channel did the same thing. But I feel guilty for if I did get anyone's hopes up. Because I was very enthusiastic. If I did get everyone's hopes up, I'm sorry. I probably haven't helped the situation this week. It's been a real shitter. So David Moyes, you've got to sort it out. You've got to sort it out. But look, that's enough ranting from me. We've got a podcast a boozecast that we're doing tomorrow. Me, John and Gary. We might have one extra as well. We're going to try and broadcast it live as well. Don't know how that's going to work from a podcast studio. So we're going to try and do that. But if not, we'll record it like we did last time and we'll put it out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back on Sunday, the three of us, and we're going to do our Booze Up show. And we're going to chew the fat and debate between the three of us everything that's happened over the last week or so. Okay. Well, you look. Hopefully by Sunday we may have some good positive news. You don't know, but even if we haven't, there's plenty to talk about. But like I say, I hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry, I had to blow off steam. I just did. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for us. It really helps us. And that is really all I've got to say on the matter. You know, Jesse Lingard, you know what's going to happen. You know he's going to score against us against Forest. He's going to be fucking giving it all that. And is that how you do it? Fucking tosser. Honestly, I hope he loses them fingers in a fucking freak gazebo accident or something. I hate him. I do literally hate him. I said I weren't going to talk about him no more, didn't I? But anyway, look, yeah. Look, Lingard, fuck off, mate. That's me done. Come on, you irons.